Well, if I can find a queue action and some weddings, I'm going to love it.
The backlash makes me horny.
We're up for the banter.
It's a comedian.
Hello, welcome back to That Josh James Show. It's a podcast for the geezers.
And their birds.
As ever, I'm joined by Romford's number one podcaster. It's Chrissy White, aka Whiteboy. What's happening, mate?
How you doing, bruv?
I'm good, mate.
See, you
Got
like
a
that
special guest today. The top black cabbie geezer himself, Aaron Courtnell. How are you, mate?
Cheers, mate. No one knows my real name.
Do they not?
Nah.
Have I gassed you up there?
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
AKA the Crazy Ginger Cabbie.
The Crazy Ginger
That'll do.
Cabbie.
Yeah, that'll do.
Do you find it weird how people... What if people were meeting you that are just seeing your stuff, what would they call you?
John.
John?
Yeah.
They would just call you John?
Yeah, all right, John.
Really?
Yeah, but some people are like, what is your real name? He even says it on the bio. It says Aaron.
Yeah.
Not my full, like, government name, like what you've just done, but
Yeah.
it's just
We'll
Aaron.
bleep that, we'll bleep that.
Such
That's
a
fine, that's
snitch.
cool. Yeah, no, Aaron. That's it.
Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron, John,
Because you call
Wanker.
everyone John.
Can I can I swear?
Oh,
Say whatever
mate.
you fucking want.
Can you swear on here?
Yeah. People get overexcited because obviously because I swear on my material and that, people are like, they really want to swear at me. Right, wanker.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
And they're like, John, like if you see a lorry driver that recognises you and he'll drive down the road, John. All right, John. Wanker.
Yeah.
It's great.
You don't actually swear that much in real life.
Nah, can't. Not with children around anyway. But
Swear
my own
more
kids.
in your, like, as your Crazy Ginger Cabbie persona, I would say.
Yes,
Did
it's just allowed me to really vent,
Yeah.
like what I was just saying before we come on the camera. Right? Just swear. And then when I'm in front of other people that I know I've got to calm it down a little bit, I can not swear.
Yeah.
People were asking me, how are you going to pass the knowledge? Like, because in the knowledge, when you do your appearances, it's like you've got to be prim, proper, clean shaven.
Yeah, mate, it's proper. My dad and my brother, both black cabbies,
Yeah.
green badge. So I know the process. Mate, it's intense.
He
Josh.
started doing it.
Done 8 runs.
Have you?
Yeah.
Manor House Station to give some square. Go on.
Leave on left, green lanes. Right, Ivory New Park. Left,
I'd be great.
Highbury Grove. Right, St Paul's Road. Comply, Highbury Corner. Leave by Upper Street. Right, St Paul's Road. No, right, Barnsbury Street. Left, Milner Square. Forward, Milner Place. Forward into Gibson Square.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Top man.
Straight off the dome.
Top man. There you go.
So what
Straight
I get
off
for that, I would have got a B because I fucked one up.
No, you definitely would have got like maybe a C on
A
that.
C. So see, like
So
if you
out
make
of
one
10,
fucking
out of 10. So they mark you down on hesitancy, incorrect road name calling. So you might have got a 6 out of that.
yeah, you go
6 out of 10.
6 out
But
of
I
10.
mean, it was
So
fucking
you literally can't
20
go,
years ago.
Yeah, you soon say it's like they just want fluency.
Yeah, it was 20 years ago. I was 17 when I started doing it.
So you're on your 8th run now.
Yeah, I'm on my 8th run. Yeah, it took me 20 years to do 8 runs, mate. I'll tell you what it was. My old man done it, and he was like, "It's a banging job.
Yeah.
You never what like if you need money, you can go and get it." And I was like, "Okay, sweet." So he already had the scooter. He had a yard up at Stratford, so the scooter was parked there, so I could just drive there. It wasn't like I had to drive the ped into town.
Yeah.
Fucking first day I went out, I got a parking ticket at Hatton Garden. I met my pal for lunch, left my scooter parked up on the side of the road, got a parking ticket on the scooter. Done 8 runs. One of the 8th one, 7th or 8th one takes you near Paddington, right? And it had rained. It was raining. I'm on the ped, right? And then the sun come out and like the glare off of the tarmac,
Yeah.
I couldn't see. And I'm coming around this roundabout I've never been on before, and I've like nearly crashed. Then I'm looking at the cabbies, and I'm like, so I'm doing this to do that, and they all looked so fucking miserable. I was like, oh, I'm not doing it. I can't do it no more.
It's still the same now.
8 runs, but I still remember the first one, mate. You know what I mean?
When you first,
You probably saw him in the rank.
yeah.
You fucking Uber, you can't. And you're like, nah, I'm all right, thanks.
Yeah. And how long ago was that?
20 years.
Wow.
I'm 37, yeah, exactly 20 years.
17 when you was doing it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because you can't pass out till 21,
How
right?
many runs have you got to remember?
320.
320?
Yeah.
And how
but
many did you
even
get
in your old
quizzed
man's
on?
age would have been more than
Yeah.
I think like nearly 400.
Yeah, I think it was 400. But then it's not just that. You learn the runs, and then you got to learn all the points, which
Yeah.
is like specific places. And then they're not going to call you on runs. They'll call you on a point to point.
Yeah.
So like here to there, there is no run. You got to do it yourself.
So so what they'll do on your like first appearance, they tend to, what they're supposed to do is be a little bit easier on you. So they'll make you call your Blue Book runs, but change the point. So instead of Manor House Station to Gibson Square, they'll say Seven Sisters Road to the Almeida Theatre, which is a point further down the road off of Upper Street. And it's the same line, but they're testing to see whether you're doing the work and whether you're calling your runs, because you just cotton on, oh yeah, that's that line, and bang, fluency. If you don't, they'll know if you're not doing it. And then if you drop big points of interest, they'll just batter you on points.
Who's it with Wizan?
I've done the Wizan way, and then me and a pal of mine,
Wizan way?
Wizan way.
What's the Wizan?
It's like the curriculum.
Oh, he sounds like a fucking wizard. I'm just expecting like
That's what I used to
some...
think it was.
Yeah.
I was expecting some Dumbledore geezer to just be your mentor, and he's like, some
Take
old
me to
geezer,
Oxford
he's
Street.
out of Bermondsey, but he looks like Dumbledore, and he's like, all right, boy, my son.
They'll
teach you all
not-
the runs.
Who passed you out?
Mr. Whitehead.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Whitehead.
Because I know one of the ladies, Mrs. Ayres.
Mum Ayres, yeah. She's lovely, Mum Ayres.
Yeah, she's serious. She's from round my way. I know her husband, I know her son.
Yeah.
And when my brother was like going through it, she was like, oh, I know who he is. And then next time he went up, she A-starred him, 12 points, got him out.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if I said
So is that, does a little bit of that go on?
No,
yeah?
definitely not, mate.
No.
Because I half mentioned it to her and she got the fucking right
I
up.
don't
with
like
it.
it, yeah.
She...
There's none of that. You got to do the work.
One
Yeah.
of the fellas I've done the knowledge with, Scott Balthwick, his father-in-law was Mr. Whitehead, and I had Whitehead on my third appearance, and I was 1-1 on 56s. I got a C, then I got a D, and then I had him. I called a run, and it was the Emperor State Building. I'll never forget it, on Lily Road, and it was like I come out of a road. I said, turn left on the right, sit down on the right, and he went, take me back to here, and call it again, because he wanted me to pass.
Yeah.
But he was like, and I called it again, done exactly the same thing, and he went, he said, I
Can't
got
pass
a
you
zero.
out. Should have been
Because
set down on the left.
You out right and on the left.
Yeah.
But he was like, the geezer I'd done the knowledge with, he's father-in-law. And but at the end, after like a year and a half, 2 years, he was the one that gave me my handshake.
Nice.
So I got 3 Bs on 21.
How old were you?
28. No.
Nice.
I mean, I started 20.
how
No,
long-
30.
How long did it take you to do to study?
2 years, 10 months.
That's quick.
But I had no excuse. I was still living at home, sucking on my mum's tits. So
Is that so? That was your full-time thing,
yeah, but I still done work full time,
right?
but then went out on the bike afterwards. So my job, I was doing delivery driving for instruments for surgeries and stuff.
Yeah.
In London.
No, in Essex.
Okay.
So it was a 10-minute bicycle ride to King George's Hospital.
Yep.
King George's Hospital, was there at 7:30 till 12:30. Worked. I mean, that was still full time, but still 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Part-time hours sort of thing. And then got on my bike and then would go.
Yeah, you ain't far there.
Oh, you grafted this. That's a real hard.
2 years is quick. 2 years is quick.
Yeah.
It's about 4 average, right?
They say
4
they say
years,
about
fuck me.
3-4
Such a long
years.
time, innit?
But
They say it's the equivalent of a degree.
shit happens.
Yeah.
Clever man. My hippocampus is larger than yours.
Yeah. Do you reckon you could? Do you reckon you could do a degree? Are you smart? I think you've got to be smart to be a cabbie.
I think anyway, it's all repetitive revision, and it's
Yeah.
whether you like some people with the knowledge
That's what,
of
like, I want to tell you about the comedy.
yes.
That's what I always say to people about stand-up. I'm like, listen, some people better than others or whatever, and you want a little bit of something about you. I'm like, largely though, it's trial and error. You've got a bit that you think's funny, you go up there, you try it, don't work, you get up there, you try it again, you change something, and you do it until it works, and then you got that joke, that's part of your set, and you build your set up.
Do you not think it's dependent on the crowd as well? Because you might think something's really, really funny.
I don't think you can ever...
Or does it depend on
Listen,
delivery?
I'm of the mentality of like, whatever the crowd is, yeah, whether they're people like us, whether they're people that are really different from us, it's on you.
Yeah.
If you don't make them laugh and it's not funny, then
It's not funny.
Then that's on you. And listen, comedy is subjective, so there's going to be people that love what you do, people that hate what you do,
Yeah.
whatever. But I think largely, when you're a room of people and you've got a crowd, whatever, as long as it's set up the right way, you can't be going, it's not really my crowd, do you know what I mean?
People say that a lot.
Yeah, they say that a lot. And I've said that loads of times, especially like throughout doing stand-up. But what I've come to realise now is just, no, it's like, if you're good enough, it's on you. You should be able to, listen, you might
Work
not take
every
the
crowd.
roof off, but you should be able to make them laugh, do a good set. You know what I mean? I
off you go.
always put it on myself. You know.
Yeah, you are very, like, you have a go at yourself quite a lot, didn't you?
Oh, badly.
Hear him?
I dig him out for it all the time. Self-doubt, it's
But
outrageous. PK said it last night in the group chat. Stop doubting yourself, mate.
But that I do think being more critical with yourself, that's how you get better. You know, you can't. I've started out with so many different comedians that were actually better than me and were really good that I've gone on to do a lot more than them because no comment. But
Leave it to me to say it.
Yeah, there you
but
go.
it's more you got to, if you want to be really good at something, you got to be critical with yourself. You got to be your own worst critic.
To a point, though, because
That's what I'm
otherwise
saying.
you'll go into a recession. You'll like go inside yourself and be like, nah, like everyone's telling you that this was good and that was good, and you don't like a particular thing about something. You'll eat away at yourself continuously, and then before you know it, you're 55 years of age, and you continue. Be critical. That's fine, but then also have proper people around you to tell you when you've been shit and when you've been good. Do you know what I mean? You like take
Exactly.
that bit
There's
of
a line,
advice.
right? A little bit of that is motivating. It breeds work ethic, makes you work harder at whatever it is you're doing. But if you're always self-deprecating and you can't enjoy the wins, and you need both. So I completely agree.
You're right. I am the bollocks. Essex's number one comedian.
Absolutely.
For a fucking reason, my boy.
without
He's
doubt.
introduced me on stage like that before, and I'm like, don't be giving that.
Well, who's better then?
No, but don't. You can't. When you bring people up on stage, you don't want to play them up too much because then it gets people's backs up. Like, oh yeah,
Prove it.
who's this fucking helmet then?
Yeah.
Especially my crowd and all.
Yeah, of course, of course. I've had some great shows at your gig though,
I think most people have.
at your Crazy Ginger Cabbie and Friends at the Backyard Comedy Club.
Cheer, thanks for that.
There you go,
Plug,
plug.
nice plug.
That's
Every
right.
3 months.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it works out every
And
3
it's
months.
always banged out.
Yeah, it's a good night. Got Chicken Jules there that supply the food before
Yeah.
people go in.
I enjoy it, man.
Plug them for that.
And you've got so much better.
Cheers, man.
You've got really, really good.
But then I'm critical about myself.
But you're good. You're a really good host. I mean, I've always said to you, I think you should do more of stand-up writing jokes and do more of the circuit. But I don't think that's in you to do. I don't think you want to do that. Also, you know, the stand-up comedy circuit is a little bit bit more woke. They're a little bit more artsy. So I think you might have struggled navigating that and being a bit diplomatic. Do you know what I mean?
I've done a. I don't know. You must have been there. You know the Little Smash comedy
Yeah.
night on the Sunday. I've only done it twice. My very first time was there when we'd done International
Ross
Women's
McGrain.
Day.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, the South End Boys, yeah.
Went back again. You invited me down. Went back again, and I've said this to you before. I don't get how comedians on the stand-up circuit that come and do their sets, they will come and do it, and then automatically fuck off.
He always gets yumped at me about that.
I understand that you might have another gig on the other side of London you need to get off, or you've been doing it 7 times in the last fucking 4 days and you're tired and you're whatever. But it's like, what I learnt from you is that if the crowd that's there in the open mic nights, they're not really sort of getting your stuff, your peers, all your mates, all that over there should be putting on a fucking pretend laugh to build your confidence, to clap or whatever. So you do that because you're on in eighth, you're on in the 8th time after whatever. I'm bumming
Yeah, I got you.
You're the 8th comedian on, right? So you've done your bit. You go on. Everyone's just fucked off.
Yeah.
So it's like, help a little bit. But then I think it's then possibly very cutthroat because if someone is doing shit and you've done better than him, you're then moving up the next ladder, and then you then get invited to other.
And I said this to you, like, you do your gig once every 3 months that you host, yeah? For someone like me, I'm out gigging 3-4 times a week. I can't stay to the end every show. And even if I've got a friend on who's after me, I will still go because it's just like I'm there to do my job, do you know?
Of course.
And leave. And also, part of it is I don't like watching too many other people all the time because also I don't want to be influenced by them.
Gotcha.
I've seen times before, actually a good example is, I won't say who it was, tell you after. but someone that gigged at one of your gigs.
I know it is.
Yeah, I gigged with him, met him.
It's a him.
It's a him. I mean, you only book
Not a-
geezers.
No, I do book women as well.
Yeah. No, there has been one.
There was one.
Yeah, Laura Smith. Yeah.
She's done it twice.
Yeah, there was a geezer on there with long hair before, so
Halfway there.
halfway.
Yeah,
there.
not these modern day men like these. It was a proper man.
Proper man. Yeah, not the,
Sorry.
yeah. Let's not get into all that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that type of podcast.
But anyway, gig with him, and I've done my joke, one of my fucking top jokes, the Nosh joke, basically. And then I'd done about a few months later, I was hosting a blackout and he was there and he was on, and I watched him do a version of that joke that he's obviously seen me do, and he's just changed the word, and I'm like, oh, you fucking cheeky cunt.
Before you went on.
No, like, so I'm hosting the blackout.
Oh, you was
and he
hosting
gets
this
up
time.
And he does, and I'm like, oh, you've seen me do that joke and you've just done your own version of
It's
that.
quite flattering though, isn't it?
Not in that world.
I think, I don't think it's flattering. I think it's fucking...
It's a fucking
'Cause I-
liberty.
'cause I-
Unless it's word... Listen, you can't say plagiarism, because if it's word for word, then that's plagiarism. But there's this another...
It's a word, isn't it?
It's like...
Plagiarism.
What a podcast
But
this
it's...
is.
I'm like, you've got that from me there. I'm like, that's
Pull 'em up.
not how this works.
But then that's where what he's just said. You got to pull them up. But have a private word.
I'm annoyed at myself that I didn't actually.
If you need someone to have a word, give me a ring, Jamesy. I'll go down
I'll
there.
pick you up in the cab.
Because I'm annoyed at the
Mate,
time. I didn't go, listen, mate, no, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
I was just like, he was like, see that, mate? I'm just like, yeah.
Did you pay him?
No, it's that blackout. They come up and they do it for free, But I was just like,
Poor geezer. He's up there. He's doing it for free. He's got the host calling him out. He's just trying to have a go, Jamesy.
I'd understand if you gave him money.
so
do
no, the
your
blackout is the new acts. They come up and they got to get through the 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Is that up the creek?
But also, so that's largely why, up the creek. That's largely why I don't always stay around and watch other acts, because I'm like, I don't want to see something you've done and thought, oh, that's good. Maybe I don't want to do. That's not. Everything that I get is from my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
you've earned it.
It's
I've
going well,
earned
isn't it,
it.
mate? Essex is number
I understand.
one.
So
and listen, we're always going to have influences, but I think get influenced by fucking Dave Chappelle or Ricky Gervais. Don't need to be fucking copying my stuff. You know
But
what I mean?
James is.
everyone's seen all that stuff, so he needs to go for the fucking
Yeah.
slightly smaller ones, because otherwise
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
will pull him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
saucy fucker.
No, I get what he's
I
up
know.
to.
that was annoying, but you're going to get me at it now. But yeah, how you been, mate? Anyway, all right?
I'm all right, mate. Plodding along, 2 children, trying to
Ages?
navigate. 5 and 2.5.
Mate, very similar to mine. I've got
Boy,
a
girl.
2-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
Yeah, good, isn't it?
that's great.
I love it, mate.
Do you know what I find fascinating about his family? He's cousins with James Argent from Towie
Oh, yeah.
and the CEO of Matchroom Boxing, Frank Smith.
Oh, yeah.
What a weird mix that is, isn't it?
Yeah, sick.
James Argent. I mean, he's he looks like Virginia Wade on crack, doesn't he? Lost all that. No offense to Virginia Wade, but he just lost all that weight. Like I said before, he's the only geezer that can sniff all that gear and
Gain weight.
Still put weight on.
Yeah, no, it's impressive. He had to get clean to lose weight. Yeah, that's mad. I went the other way.
Yeah, mad.
Skinny as fuck when I was on it.
He's the fattest man in the crack den, put it that way.
He's got more lives than a cat. That boy.
Yeah.
Like he can call Gemma Collins a fat cunt and get away with it and still be invited to loose women
Yeah.
laughing about life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Arch. I've always liked him.
Look at him, look at him laughing over there.
Troubled character, it seems like.
Yeah.
But those family parties growing up must have been mad. You must have had Arj in the corner with his velvet tones, doing a bit of crooning, doing a bit of singing. Then you had Frank Smith in the corner selling some sweets to kids. And then you had you out there fucking as an Uber goes by just calling them cunts.
Yeah, but the Ubers being my cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get off the bouncy castle.
What's your thoughts on Uber?
So I'm an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
I would rather wear a Tottenham kit in my cab than be associated with any of them.
Here's a question.
Go on.
You got to choose one.
Not Uber.
You got to choose one. Let me finish.
Go on.
For the rest of your life, you've either got to be a Spurs fan or an Uber driver. What are you going for?
Here comes my ride out of here. What would I be? I don't know if I can answer.
You've got to answer it.
I'd rather hang myself.
Gun to your head.
You've got to answer it.
Sorry for people that rang themselves. Can't.
You've got
It's
to.
Tottenham.
You've got to.
No. I'd be an Uber driver.
Love that.
Well, look, right.
Love that.
Especially recently, like the last 2 weeks ago, your mob just fucking bouncing around. What a cup, though. I mean, people trying to belittle the UEFA Cup. It's a UEFA Cup.
Yeah.
It's a big cup.
Arsenal never won it, have they?
No.
The UEFA Cup, Europa League. Have they ever?
The Fairs Cup, maybe. I mean, but what's that? Won the Cup Winners' Cup. That was something.
They won the second place cup, which is
Well,
great.
this is the thing I wanted to say about Uber. Right.
Here we go.
I appreciate that it's a fucking good piece of technology, and I think it works everywhere else, but not in London.
Well, I like this man.
You can't have it.
Let's get back to Uber. Let's talk more about Spurs over the last couple of weeks. How's it made you feel?
Awful. I've had friends of like 20, 25 years that have said the same thing. Don't message me things about us, like Tottenham. I'm not interested. I won't engage with it. I won't say well done. Like when I done the video about, I had such a backlash from like Spurs fans.
Really?
Oh, mate. Fuck me. I done a video just basically saying, I don't want Spurs to have a nice time. Like my mates that went out there, just get there and get home safely. That's all I want you to do. I don't want you to win. I hope an homeless man shits on your pillow when you come home from the game. I just want you to have a shit time. I hope you break down. I don't want you to have fun. I don't want you to enjoy a fucking cup final day of going waving your flags and all that shit and drinking all the beer and eating all the food. But it's the same thing with Spurs. They don't want Arsenal to do that.
The thing I've noticed is you can only celebrate, right, football. When you win something, that's when you celebrate. Because who would have thought when Arsenal beat Real Madrid and Spurs are languishing 17th in the Premier League, that actually the season would end up with them both getting Champions League football, but Spurs winning a European Cup.
5 nil, biggest pasting ever.
Listen, chin up, and there's always next year.
Chin up, you need that, do you?
Chin up, there's always next year.
Chins.
You know, European football, it's not for everyone.
No. No.
Let's talk about Uber, your other favourite subject.
Yeah.
Just saying, like I already mentioned previously, right? I've been to visit people that live like right out in the sticks, and you can't get cabs, right? So
I've got a counter to this, but yeah, go on.
Anyone can jump on an Uber, and then like, oh, there is a guy, he's doing Uber now, we can find out where he is.
What did you do before?
Me?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Your mates lived out in the sticks or in the suburbs.
John drove.
Apart from that. So if you needed to get a cab, what would you do?
Walked.
Yeah, well,
Well, no. There's
Walked barefooted, actually, for miles.
Through glass and bullshit. Or what you do.
A local cab firm.
A local cab firm.
yeah, but I'm saying.
Oh,
so,
Trace, can I have a cab in 10 minutes?
yeah, but they've
please?
got 2 cabs and there's 28 piss geezers.
But it
that need
works
to
for
get
the
home.
last 35 years. Then.
I know, but that's my only argument. What I'm saying is, and I completely agree with you, in London, right, anyone can move to any other capital city in the world, and you ain't got to do the knowledge.
No.
You just jump in the cab and start driving. In London, like we mentioned, 3-4 years of solid graft, learning that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, bearing in mind, my mum technically done the knowledge twice.
Yeah.
She'd done it with my dad,
Yeah.
and then she'd done it with my brother.
Yeah.
I told her that I'd got in an Uber once. Right, it was a night out. I was with an ex. She come and got us the day after from the station or whatever. I was like, oh, I jumped in an Uber last night. And I, like, bearing in mind, my mum's just met this girl. She's like, you what? Pulled the motor over, starts screaming at me in front of this girl. And I was like, fucking hell. She's like, don't get in Ubers, not in London. It was like, it hurt her more than it would hurt my dad or my brother, because she done it fucking twice. All that calling over she had to do.
Yeah.
Basically, calling over is, Jamesy, you do the runs and then you call it over with someone. Like me and him just did earlier on. He calls it and I have to say it. My mum done that with my dad and my brother.
And then
for the whole thing, twice.
What, did she jump on the back of the ped?
She done it for like 6 years.
No. She don't jump on the ped. She does the calling over. See, she gets the sheets out and she says to my dad, Manor House Station to Gibson Square.
Okay.
And he has to say it. And
He calls over.
She's like, nah, you made a mistake. Do it again.
Then you row.
And then she did that twice. So she fucking hates Uber.
Hates Uber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will always say that if you are not directly involved with a cab driver or someone that's on the knowledge, ultimately people don't care.
Exactly.
They don't care. I think it's a cultural thing. People people from where we're from, sort of backgrounds we're from, we see it. I mean, I personally see. I'm not going to sit here and say I've never got Uber because I have, but I would always prefer a black cab because I just think sort of culturally, it's like one of the historic sort of London things.
Yeah.
I also know tons of black cab drivers, and I'm like you just said there, it's like it could be anything from like 4 years. You can go through that for 4 years, and then someone can just with a sat nav and a Prius can like start doing it like tomorrow. For me, that's wrong. But some people do use this argument, and it largely comes down to this as well: is that Ubers are cheaper.
Yeah, they used to be like a hell of a lot cheaper, but now when you compare some of the prices on some of the journeys in town, it's like a black cab would be 10 quid. Uber used to be £2. Now Uber's at like 8 quid. So what you got more people are now sort of ordering an Uber, but then will sort of look for a black cab as well. Whereas before it would just be like that. I would just want my Prius to turn up.
Yeah, because it's 2 quid.
Whereas now it's a couple of quid. Oh, there's a cab here, let's get it. That's where we're at now.
And the black cab is so much better. There's so much more room in there. I mean, we've all seen fake taxi. You can fucking smash birds in the back of there. You can smash geezers if you want. You know what I mean?
I've got a story about that in a minute as well.
It's all smashing geezers in the back of black cabs.
Smashing geezers in the back of black cab. It's a good one. I'll tell you about it in a minute.
You know, you can do... It's so much more room for activities.
Yeah. Plus,
you do
it's a
yoga
safety thing, right? You're registered. They know exactly who you are. When I was younger, what my dad used to say is, if ever you get in trouble... He's like, don't abuse this, but if you get in trouble, find a black cab, get in it, tell him to come back to ours. If you ain't got the money, when you get there, I'll come out and pay the geezer the money.
Yeah.
He's like, and this is like, no matter what age I was, he was like, find a black cab. It's like a little haven, safety. Not saying that all Uber drivers are not trustworthy, but you roll in the fucking dice.
But also, that is part of the process of being a black cab driver. They're not just testing can you call from there to there, they're testing your temperament, the way you react to things. So so the 4 runs that you got asked to call, you might have smashed them, not dropped any points, and nailed every single fucking one, fluency's bang on. He might turn around to be like, yeah, not this time, mate, and give you a D. How are you going to react to that?
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck do you mean? So it's the same thing with someone in the back of the cab.
And yeah, I do, mate, you're right. I got an Uber back once from London because it was the only thing like available at the time, and I fell asleep and I woke up in like, what was it, like Harold Hill, and the Uber driver had a fucking finger up my bum. So, you know, like you got to watch out for them. You know, they're a bit, you know, just we get black cabs basically is what we're saying.
Yeah.
I thought you
You
were
tight cunts.
yeah, you fucking shit houses.
So
There's a new app out, by the way. It's called Jump.
Yeah?
Jump. It's a black cab app.
black cab.
Is it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jump.
All right.
Oh, fantastic. Everyone download Jump. It's Uber, but black cab show up.
Right.
That's it, yeah.
Sounds like a suicide app.
Yeah, jump. off a bridge.
Jump. Jump. You go on, you're like, my life's shit. I've got this app, and it just says jump. And it shows you all the nearest bridges.
And the cab will take you there.
Yeah,
brilliant.
black cab will take you there, drop you off.
Yeah.
See you later, boy.
And
Have you got your affairs in order?
and take your payment as well.
Yeah, but at least you ain't going to get a finger up a bum from an Uber driver.
You mentioned taking payments. Have you had any situations where people couldn't pay and any like mad situations?
Innuendos and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, like propositions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Innuendos. Yeah,
Anyone
propositions,
getting like doing it in the back of the cab?
Yeah.
Go on,
Yeah.
give us some of them stories.
I picked up a couple. Turns out they were a couple. Thank fuck for that. Picked up a couple. Never forget it. Pentonville Road. And when I was first sort of out as a cab driver, can we go to Rickmansworth? And I'm thinking, fuck, that's miles. Miles away. But I heard it incorrectly, and I'm sure I heard sort of Richmond, and I was thinking that's like southwest. And I said, where are we going? Rickmansworth. So anyway, northwest, driving, and I said it's going to be about 100 quid, mate. And he went, mate, I don't care, it's fine. I just want to get home. All right, cool. So we're boozed in the back of the cab, and they started having a bit of a canoodling in the back.
Snogging and that, yeah?
Yeah, all that.
Tongues
having a
all
little
that.
bit of a reef around, and then all we could just see was her going like this.
Oh,
fantastic.
Sound like that, and he's sort of just like leaned up against her, and he's giving her the old fucking, he's feeding the pony.
nice.
I'm, all right, so cool. And then
couple of digits.
he then took his jacket off, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go.
Here we go.
I just want to get there. We'll go the long way.
We already gone the long way. We'll see what happens.
He's like, no, don't be too
let the geezer finish.
Let's see how this pans out.
So
I'm
he's-
going to take the long route.
He's took off his fucking Le Shark, right? His bomber coat, and he's put it over his lap. And then all of a sudden, you just see his jacket in the back, like being lifted out. And I'm like, I've got to turn the light
Old
on for this.
school.
No, I've bung the light on. And then we're flying down the Marylebone Road, and he's gone. I've gone to him. I went, listen. I don't mind the canoodling in the back. I said, but please refrain from spilling any of your beans all over my carpet. And he went, no worries, mate, no worries. And she's like, what do you take me for? Some sort of fucking slut? I'm not doing anything. She's done this. And her fucking boobs are fell out.
Oh,
fantastic.
lovely.
And he told her to shut up. And
Yeah,
so
she should have just kept her mouth shut.
they've carried on, and she's fallen asleep. And I think he's sort of like just kept in there.
Right, okay.
Sort of thing.
Just, yeah,
and then he's
keeping
just laying there.
keeping his hands warm.
Yeah, he's just laying there. And then she'll then sort of wake up and then shuffle him again and then start doing things with him. I'm like, this is like, they're obviously boozed. Nothing's going to finish here.
Yeah.
So then we get to the end and it was like, what was it? About 85 quid. And she's gone to stand up and her fucking knickers around her ankles, his trousers around his ankles, and I'm looking around, I'm thinking, oh, for fuck's sake. So they're getting out the cab, come to me window, he went, how much? I said, look, 85 quid, mate. He gave me £100. And she come to the window, she went, I'm not a fucking slut, with her tits still out.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, no, I wasn't saying you were, love. You're fine. It's cool.
Nice tits.
Gave me 100 quid. He went, no, I'll keep the change. And then she piped up. She went, make sure you get your fucking change. I went, listen here. I went, calm your fucking self down.
Listen
I
here,
went,
you slut.
he's in charge. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And I put that £15 tip down to a little bit of canoodling tax.
Yeah, there you go,
you gotta
mate.
listen.
Let 'em
But he
crack
was
on.
really appreciative and all that. And he tried to shake my hand. And I'm
Mate, you let him get wanked off in the back of the cab.
honoured. Yeah.
Of course he's going to be appreciative. Did you
did.
shake his hand?
Yeah.
You course you did.
Of course you did.
Yeah, 15 quid a little. Oh,
Well, look, my brother had 3 fellas jump in the back of the cab, and they
now
were like,
you're fucking talking.
They were like,
now you're talking. Now we
heaven.
get on to the good stuff.
Heaven nightclub, please.
Excellent. Here we go.
Right? So he's
Come
like,
on.
I know what these are about.
Yeah.
Jump in, gentlemen. Right? So they've jumped in, and then he's looked in the mirror, and one of them's took his jacket off and held the jacket up, like
On the
across
partition,
the back window,
yeah.
so they can't see what's going on.
Saucy.
And Dubs is like, "Oi," and he's like, "Put it down," and he's like, "Nah, go on, put it back up." Right.
You want to try? We'll take it, mate.
Well, this is it, right? So he's like, fuck's sake, like, I hope they don't make a mess. It was only 5 minutes around the corner, so he couldn't see it get into a messy. Yeah, no, they might have been
never know,
really
yeah.
good.
Might know what they're
and,
doing.
Literally, they got out, paid him, and there was like, the show was your tip, and then walked off.
Oh, dear.
yeah.
I mean, that's an
Yeah.
element there, isn't there?
Yeah.
And they say romance is dead.
Yeah.
Have a nice time, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, I suppose.
Big
I
orgy.
suppose if
Big gay orgy
who's
in
the
the
most
back of the
famous
motor.
person you had in the back there?
Well, I've done me podcast, but that don't really count. Laura Woods,
Laura Woods.
like to any normal heterosexual male.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Would love-
But like
I'd
someone's just a punter that's come in. Obviously,
Chris Eubank,
Oh,
The young
lovely.
one.
Senior.
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 Yeah. And it was just...
You sort of half have a bit of family ties there as well.
Yeah, because Frank, my cousin, and
Frank is married to his
well,
daughter.
sort of married, but they've
Sort
been
of
together
Right,
about
okay.
25 years. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's...
Eubank Senior. Excellent cab driver.
No, he didn't fucking say. He told me how to drive it.
Did he?
Excuse me, young man in the front. Do you mind if I get wanked off in the back of this cab, please, sir? Oh, so stupendous bit of confectionery.
Do you have any tissue? I've made a mess.
It was only a short fare, and we're going up to the Dorchester because that's where he like frequents quite a bit. And he used to, and
Got expensive taste.
going up Grosvenor Place towards Hyde Park Corner, and then like you want to get off to the right, and he's fucking because I ain't gone in the bus lane when I was supposed to go in the bus lane. He was like, "Do you want to get in the bus lane and shuffle your way over and all that stuff?" Like, yeah, cool. And he it was just around about the time when I think Eubank Jr. was with Matchroom at the start,
Right,
and he senior sort of took him up, not took him away, but sort of management decision was like, let's go a different sort of route. And he was asking me, what do I think about it? I said, I'm not too au fait with me boxing. I said, I know obviously what's what. I said, but you're his fucking dad. You would.
Plus, you was a champion yourself. I think you're probably more informed.
I said, you know your onions with regards to this whole industry, good and bad. So you know that you're making a decision coming from the heart for your son. And I said, you know my cousin. And he went, no, who is this? And I went,
Who's this cousin?
and I said, Frank Smith. And he just went,
Didn't say nothing.
didn't say.
Do they not like him?
I don't know.
What's
I
not to
don't
like
know.
about your cousin Frank Smith?
Oh, he's a ledge.
He's nice. He's polite. He's fucking Keiko.
32 years of age, he could probably retire in a couple of years.
Yeah, he's doing
Good
well.
luck.
Isn't he?
That
mate,
much
he's done-
money, yeah.
He's done really, really well, and
Yeah.
we're all in the family very, very proud. So his mum, my mum's sisters, and his mum, my auntie Cheryl, she donated her kidney to my mum when my mum was going through her illness. So we are like proper cousins, not like that. Not like your fucking
That old
your dad
fucking-
when you're back in the 80s, like that's your cousin.
Oh yeah, I thought he was
yeah.
talking about the other cousin, Mark Wright's mate.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, well, look, so good origin story. Do you know how he got in with Eddie? Just approached him at the Dogs, at Romford Dogs.
Oh, did he?
Selling tickets. And he was like, well, you probably know better than me. This is what he said on Tubes' golf channel.
So I can tell you if you're lying now.
He
can't
was
I?
like, just approached him, knew who he was, and he was like, give me a job. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, selling tickets, and he had a bit about him. And Eddie's like, I don't know, maybe, mate. The kid's got something about him. So he's like, come in, and he just like blew him away, and he's been working for him ever since. Now
He
he's
was
CEO
like a
at Matchroom.
T-boy at 15, 14, 15.
Over Romford Dogs.
No,
with
when,
Eddie.
when he went to sort of
Matchroom.
He
Matchroom.
was selling raffle tickets at Romford Dogs. That's how he met Eddie.
Right.
Yeah, so and yeah, he's gone on from there, and then he was obviously doing the darts for Matchroom, snooker, and then moved into the boxing world. Like he'll tell you, and he's probably said it publicly. I hope so anyway, because I'll put him
He don't
throw him
like
under the
boxing.
bus. Is that he hates boxing? He can't stand boxing. He just knows how the business works.
Yeah.
Because if
He's a
you're,
businessman, isn't he?
yeah, of course he is. But he's earned being wrapped around obviously someone like Eddie Earn. People only dislike fucking Eddie Earn because they're jealous of how much money he's fucking got. All right, he's been handed it on a plate with regards to his old man, but what his dad's given him, he's took it on to the next sort of level.
Yeah, of course.
Well, people also maybe dislike him because they said that he bullied Jodie Marsh. Did you ever heard that one?
No.
It was apparently bullied Jodie Marsh in school. That's the one, apparently. That's what Jodie Marsh is. And he bullied her.
Oh, another Towie star here ringing me.
Who's
that? Oh,
Don't let anyone know.
nice. Yeah.
Doing bits, and I.
Yeah, top man. Oh, well,
I
good.
didn't know he was like that.
Good for Frank. I met Frank when I done the boxing fit, when I done the Matchroom.
Yes, yeah.
And
yeah.
I done the skit with him. I met him. I've met him like briefly when I was in the Matchroom offices, but then I spoke to him properly there. And I went to him after. I was like, I was channeling your cousin tonight. But he was good as gold. And we might even get him on here. Who knows?
Mate, I was just thinking, be a great guest. Line it up, Aaron.
Yeah. I've asked him to
Good
come on.
word
I come
for
on
us.
mine.
Has he not fancied it?
No, he says like, yeah, whenever. And I'm like,
He's so busy though.
but you're in the country 300 times. You're out of the country 300 days of the year. It's very hard to tie him down. So I'll say, look, he might be in Brentwood, like close to us at the big house, for like 6 hours, and he's flying out to Monaco and then fucking Riyadh,
Yeah,
Vegas, Mexico. He's everywhere.
he's everywhere.
I don't know how these bods do it.
You know
I'll
what?
drive-
It
I'll drive
sounds
here and I'm
glamorous,
knackered.
don't it? Sounds glamorous. I bet it fucking gets old quick, all that travelling.
I mean, it's nice probably to look at your fucking bank balance sideways on your phone.
Yeah. And like business class, first class, bit different,
Every
innit?
flight.
Bit different, isn't it?
Every flight.
Every
Every
Laying
flight
down.
is first class, yeah?
Or probably business.
Yeah, of course it is. If you're
Yeah,
travelling out.
he throws up a little picture on his Insta now and again, and he'll show the passport and the ticket, and it'll say 1A.
Yeah. Top level seat.
Not 67B.
Where did he grow up? Did he grow up in Romford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad calls it Dagenham, but my aunt is like, no, Chabaleaf.
Chabaleaf?
My dad's like, yeah, Dagenham.
Chabweleaf, yeah.
Oh, good for him.
You know, Tollgate Tavern?
Yeah.
And in Dagenham, it's like sort of Dagenham, Chabaleaf.
Oh.
But yeah. That's his
Salt of the earth.
yeah, salt of the earth. Yeah, he's good. He's a good boy, Frank.
Yeah, he's a good boy, mate. So, what does the future hold for Crazy Ginger Cabbie, mate? You're on this sort of mad journey at the moment of like you're in a cabbie, but then you got your comedy nights. What is your? I don't know. What's your dream? Where do you see? Where do you want to get to? Do you know what I mean?
I'd like to. I mean, not necessarily TV, but probably like via the socials. Is like have my own proper talk show. Have like a comedy sketch show. You know, like your mock the week type thing.
Yeah.
And host that.
That'd be funny.
Host that type of thing, but in a not so fucking woke, mingy world that we live in. So when people do say, I mean, he says it in a joking way, but when people say, "Oh, look, you're racist," because they'll see this, the way I talk, the tattoos, and my job. People are like, "Oh, I bet you fucking voted Brexit." No, my wife did.
Yeah.
And that was before I was with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a.
It might also be because you do look like a bit of a chunkier Tommy Robinson. You do have, you got the same haircut and that. Do you know what I mean?
Same coloured tinge of the beard, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But you have got like, if you said to me, "Oh, also my other cousin's Tommy Robinson," I'd be, "Oh, okay, yeah, I see
that.
the resemblance."
Yeah, it's Frank Smith,
In fact,
Argent Tommy Robinson.
Tommy Robinson looks more like your cousin than James Argent and Frank Smith.
Yeah, definitely. But we're not. Just so
But you're
putting
not.
it out there. No, we're not. Yeah, my missus, she's from gene pool is Guyanese, Jamaican, Chinese.
Oh, lovely.
I don't know what I am.
Full blend.
Yeah, mate. It's like
Nice.
United Nations in my house.
So really, for you, the dream is to have the talk show one day of like a comedy sort of talk show.
Yeah, or to just host something where it's just people can just come and. I like to think that the people that do my comedy nights, like you got your Andrew Mentzers, everyone that does it, I put on a good show. I like to think that I pay people nicely, and people like to do things with me. So their mindset might be, "Oh, he's a bit on the edge and he speaks his mind probably a bit too much." It won't stop people from wanting to do things with me. I hope. I mean, if people remove themselves from me because they don't want to be associated with it, all right, that's cool. That's fine. But I'd like to think like I'm a good person. You know me
You're
personally.
asking the right
apart from-
place,
Absolutely.
mate.
When's your
And
next
that will
comedy
show
night?
The comedy night, my next one
backyard.
is the 21st of September.
21st of September.
It's an afternoon gig as well.
An afternoon gig, and I'll come and do it, mate.
Yeah?
If you've got a free spot.
I've always got a free
I
spot
couldn't
for
make
you,
the
mate.
last one. Why couldn't I look at the last one?
He was dead. He was
I
in the
was
hospital.
ill. I was fucked actually. Yeah, I had a respiratory infection. So, but yeah, 21st of September.
4 years ago, it'd have been COVID.
Yeah, 21st September is Sunday.
So, yeah.
I will try and come and do that one then, mate.
We said try now.
No,
He
I
did,
will.
didn't he? First he said do,
I've
then he said
no,
try.
I've just had a look there.
I've got a christening to go to.
I'm in
yeah,
Newcastle
yeah.
for the weekend doing a stand, but yeah, if I can get back, then
No,
all
don't
good.
rush yourself.
But yeah, if I'm free, then I'll come do it.
All right.
Yeah.
He's not
Thanks for
going.
coming on, brother.
Backtrack.
Thanks, Harry. Thanks
Cheers,
for having
mate.
me.
Great
I
to meet
appreciate
you,
it.
mate.
You
Really
too.
appreciate you.
Top banana.
Thanks, ladies and gents. Before we finish, we got to shout out the Ronnie O members.
I'll take the Ronnie O's.
Top Ronnie O members on our Patreon episode, and we're going to be jumping over to there.
Right, let's do this.
in a
Thank
couple
you
of minutes.
very much for the top level Patreons. James Hughes, Tom Dutton, Jordan Whitaker, Alex Pavitt, Charlie King, Joshua Harrell, Josh Bennett, Kevin Barry, Tom Hoffman, Rusty, Charlie, Stephen Hurahan, Alex Perry, Tom, Harry Goslin, Sinbad and the Borough Misses, The Criminal, Steve Reed, Richard Donnellan, Richard Aris, I don't know how to pronounce that, A-R-E-S, Richard Aris. Aries. Jack Watts, Scott Kemp, Sam Peters, BM, Laura, Laurie Souch, Oscar Bunting, George Bowen, The Wills Dog, Ben Hart, Lucas Mempham, Big Gaz, Chris Fife, Harry McLeod, Harrison Edwards, Donna Bond, Frank, Scott Evans, George, Callum Vitaro, Sparky, Ben Gaylor, Frankie O'Connor, Danny, Fred Amrose Patio Services, Michael McGandy, Stacey Morris, Leader Train Driver, Joe Beck, George Denny, Kaylee, Luke Clark, JKJ, The Humble Flash Guy, Alfie, Joe Franklin, Matthew Evans, Chris Bird, Ben Francis, Josh Reynolds, Shane Lawrence, Sean Marchant, Jordan Gettins, Max Silver, Danny Barlow and Bailey.
Can I just say something?
Thank you to the Ronnie O's.
Yeah.
You just said like right wing. That sounded like an EDL rally. All
Yeah, it
people's
did.
names. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he did. All the names.
patio services.
Getting banged up. Thank you, ladies and gents. We're going to go over to the Patreon now, so we'll see you over there. But thanks again to Crazy Ginger Cabbie. We'll see you all next week.
Thanks,
Arrivederci.
Take care, guys.